Well, hello, welcome to another video. I haven't done one of these crafty type of vlogs in a very long time. To be completely honest, even if I'd wanted to film these videos more throughout the year so far, I literally wasn't working that much on any crochet and knit projects. And if I was, they were very specific and I was very focused on them. I have just finished a very big piece which has taken a very long time, and I've blocked it today and it's still drying, and it is this massive jumper. It's the Handstole jumper sweater by Petite Knit, and I made it in this green. It is massive. I made it a little bit too big. It's gonna be my dad, he turns 50 in May, so this is gonna be his birthday present, but it is not quite finished yet. I'm going to duplicate stitch a Land Rover logo on the front because he really loves Land Rover, and I feel like this is a common theme with dads, is that you can't buy them anything. I couldn't buy my dad anything that he wouldn't just buy himself, so I feel like this is a nice little personal thing that I think he'll really appreciate, hopefully. Anyways, I'm really worried about the size. I made it a little bit too big, thinking I would rather it be oversized than too small. So now that that's done, well, almost done, I basically have time to do whatever I want. So I have a few things going on. I made a few granny squares a while back for a project that I don't know if I want to reveal yet. So I'm gonna leave that for now. I will be working on this, but I think before I get into that, because that's gonna be quite a big project, I had a thought literally earlier today, yesterday. I want to make a white lacy-ish type of skirt. I pinned a few things for inspiration, I'll show you in a bit, but I have then made some swatches. Actually, let me show you the inspo. So this is the board that I made. I just kind of added things that have inspired me, also things that will help me with the construction, so I can refer back to these skirts and see how they've added the string, kind of how they sit, and then some kind of patterns that I really liked, although I had something slightly different in mind. I also think I want to try some crochet short rows maybe with this project, because I don't want it to be two-dimensional. It just does not work with my figure. I need space for my hip to go, so I'm gonna have a play around with that. But anyways, I then looked, and this book, which I absolutely love, I can't recommend this enough. It has loads of different sort of knit stitches, and right at the end it has a bunch of crochet stitches as well, so I kind of had a flick through that and picked a few that I was interested in, and I made some swatches. I made this swatch, which I do really like. I want to hold on to it for maybe another project, but it's too gappy for the project that I want to make. I like the lacy sort of feel that the inspo pictures have. Realistically, I'm not going to wear it if you can see my pants through it, so this is a little bit too gappy. Then I made this one, which is essentially just single crochets, and this one's actually too dense. Like, this hasn't got a very good flow. It's a bit too stiff because it's literally just single crochets, but again, I really like this type of pattern, so I'm also going to hold on to this. And then I made this type of sort of scalloped edge, which I wasn't really planning to do it at first, but I really like this because it moves really like nicely. It's not too gappy, but it's also not too dense. Like, it's pretty much perfect. So I think I'm gonna go with that, but I need to sort of figure out the construction of it. I know I want to go top down and I want to have some kind of cute detail at the bottom, but yeah, I need to think about increases as and where I need to do them. It's weird because I've been so busy past weeks, months in the evenings, that when I have an evening free, it feels I'm a little bit suspicious. I keep checking my to-do list and just making sure that I'm definitely not missing anything that I should be doing today. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have a little tidy up, probably head to the sofa for the evening to chill out. I need to get changed out of these clothes as well. I've been working in the garden and they are dirty now. So yeah, I'm gonna do that and then we can reconvene on the sofa. Welcome back to my sofa. I'm all cozy and I'm doing a foundation single crochet row, which is hopefully going to go around my waist, or kind of like a lower point, like where the hip bones are. I think that's what I'm going for. I'm doing a foundation row rather than a chain because it's a bit stretchier, and I don't like when a chain sits like really close into your skin, if that makes sense. So hopefully this will be the one. I've got some YouTube going on my laptop on my lap, setup. Usually I put it on the TV, but the TV is not connecting to the Wi-Fi for some reason and I can't be asked to figure it out. So this is the setup, but it's quite cute and cozy. It has been a few days, but the weather has been absolutely amazing. I think it is about 23 degrees today, so I have my factor 50 on. I'm in the garden and I'm going to do some crocheting. I finished work for the day. I currently only work half days on a Wednesday and a Thursday, so I'm going to spend the afternoon outside in the sun and I'm going to continue my project. I haven't really done much more, but I'm going to, hopefully make some progress today. I don't know if I mentioned, but I want to try some short rows, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that in this pattern. So maybe I can figure that out. Got my green juice here. I've got some coffee boiling inside as well for nice iced coffee. I think I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I've been listening to Tomorrow on and off on my walks, but I really struggle to concentrate on audiobooks when I'm out on a walk. And it's very much something that I can only listen to when I'm crocheting and I'm not really distracted. So I'm probably going to listen to that. Hopefully I won't get too sunburnt. I got a little bit sunburned yesterday because I fell asleep out here for like 10 minutes and it burnt my legs. But I've got sunscreen on today, so hopefully I should be all right. It is the next day and I'm off to meet my friend. It's their birthday today actually, but we had already planned to go to a cafe together and do some crochet. I taught them how to crochet a couple of weeks ago, but I want to teach them how to do a granny square today, so that'll be fun. Actually, should we do a what's in my bag? So I have this pouch which has my crochet project in it, and then I have this pouch which has my headphones, keys, the money, sort of random bits in there. I have my notebook with my pattern instructions so I can write things down as I crochet. Then, oh yeah, I have my water bottle of course, sunglasses, and my phone is over there, I can't forget that. So yeah, I'm gonna head off, meet them there. Very excited, it will be very cute and very wholesome. It's a beautiful day out. All right, let's go. Please excuse the state of this room. We still haven't finished the ceiling. Hold on, let me pan you up. The ceiling still needs priming, painting, putting a hole in for light, so yeah, just ignore that. Someone bought a dress of my website, which is lovely, so I'm gonna have to send that off. Well, first I need to find it. I really like keeping all my finished things that I'm selling in these boxes because I can just look like this and I can somewhat tell if it's in there or not. There we go. I made this such a long time ago. I want to say like 2 years ago now, and it is an absolute beauty. I totally would have kept this for myself if it wasn't this kind of green colour. I don't love it on me, but it is such a nice like linen-y, cottony blend. It's so soft. I wish you could feel it. But yeah, I'm gonna bag this up and send it off. I thought it might be a good time to show you some progress on the skirt. It really is confusing because I'm doing short rows for the first time pretty much, but at the same time I'm also increasing because the short rows obviously they create space for the bum hump, but then the increases actually allow the piece to go wider for the hips and for the bum. So I'm trying to kind of manage those at the same time as writing my instructions down so that I can make the skirt again if I want to. But it's just so confusing reading back my own instructions because I write them kind of in a hurry because I don't want to lose momentum when I'm like changing something. This is how it's currently looking from the front. So this is about where my belly button sits. So I am planning to put a tie on so I can always hoist it up a little bit more. And then this is how the short rows are looking, and I hope this now makes a bit more sense that you can see it visually, but this fits so nice. If I hadn't done the short rows, this would now be dragging down at the back here because there's just not enough fabric for it to go. I don't know how precisely I'm doing the short rows, how much sense it's making. I think when it's all done, I'm gonna have a look over my instructions and at the piece itself as well and just see if there's a way that I can make it more consistent. I also thought about maybe creating my own diagram and following that visually. That might be another option, but for now, for me to wear it, I don't really care. But it's obviously if this turns out nice and any of you want to make it, I don't want to make a pattern that is like super confusing because at the moment my instructions are mega confusing, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that. And that actually brings me onto the partnership for this video, which is with Craftsy. I'm gonna take this off and sit down to chat to you about them. Now, if you don't already know about Craftsy, it is an amazing online community for all creative people and DIYers to find creative inspiration and pick up some new skills. Craftsy offers more than 2,000 classes in over 20 categories, ranging from knitting to crochet, quilting, sewing, painting, baking, and so much more. And the classes are broken down into very easy to follow along steps. All the instructors are super friendly and helpful. I said to someone recently that the thing that I love so much about knitting and crocheting and crafting in general is that there is so much still to learn. No matter how good you are at it, how advanced you are, there will always be a technique that you haven't perfected yet. And rather than that feeling really overwhelming, I'm really excited by that. So whenever I scroll through Craftsy, I get that feeling of, wow, there is so much more out there that I can learn. Even with the short rows that I've been teaching myself recently, if you type in short rows into Craftsy, there are so many different classes that pop up instantly. First one I was instantly drawn to was the short rows class by Carol Feller. This just seems like the perfect start to learn about short rows within knitting. Another category that I've been really getting into on Craftsy recently is the baking one, and I was blown away by how much good stuff is out there. Loads of really helpful classes on bread making. The handmade sourdough class looked really interesting because I am still kind of struggling with my sourdough skills. And another one that I'm definitely going to take part in is the Bake Your Best Sweet Yeast Breads, Challah and More. I recently made a yeast bread for Easter and it was really nice, but I definitely can still perfect my skills. So now if you want to try Craftsy for yourself, then I have an amazing offer for you as a new member. The first 1,000 people to click the link in my description will get a full year of Craftsy premium membership for only $1.49. The things that I've just shown you are only the tip of the iceberg. There are so many incredible classes that you could be taking within that year. In fact, I'm gonna do some more research on my short row technique. I'm gonna put on lots of sunscreen. I'm gonna head back outside. It's 19 degrees today, which is like the perfect temperature for me. And the weather's gonna get a lot worse from tomorrow onwards. So today's the last day to enjoy the sunshine. So I'm gonna go do that, work on my skirt, and yeah, I'll check in with you when I've made progress, I guess. A little later in the day and I'm doing some baking because I'm hosting my friends Ella and Sai's birthday tomorrow. Sai is celiac, so I'm just making everything gluten-free. I already have a pistachio cake in the oven and it smells amazing. So this is the pistachio cake I'm making, and then I'm also just making like a vanilla sponge type cake, but I want to decorate it with sprinkles so you get like an old school birthday cake vibe. Growing up, my mum would always make a minimum of 2 like desserts or cakes for anyone's birthday, and I feel like that's my expectation now. There needs to be at least 2 cake plus something else. The biggest life update is that I have quit my job and I'm gonna go full-time self-employed, running my knitting business, my pattern business, as well as doing a little bit of like social media on the side. I've never wanted to do social media full-time. I just don't really see the longevity in that, so to say, but I'm really excited to just really focus on making more patterns, designing more clothing pieces, stuff like that. And I have for the last 1.5 years been working part-time, so I would only work 3 days a week, and then in April I lowered my hours, and so I was working 2 days a week. So I've pretty much been lowering my hours until I was kind of ready to take this step, and it really wasn't an easy decision to make. I spoke to so many people, I called on my parents, I spoke to my friends, but really deep down I knew that this would be the right time to do it and that this would be something that I'd have to try. It might not work out, I might not be making enough money, but I can always go back and find another job. I really like the people that I work with. I have a really good relationship with them, and funnily enough, I'm actually already at the end of May, start of June, gonna work freelance for them. Basically for the last 1.5 years, I was a TikTok social media account manager, but before that I worked at the same company as basically like a production person on photo shoots, campaign shoots. But at the start it was photo shoots, but because it was a social media agency, it very quickly moved to video campaigns, video shoots, and so the shoot that I'm going to freelance on, I'm going to take more of a production role on that. I basically have 1 more week left and then I am full-time self-employed, which is very exciting. I think for the first 2 or 3 weeks after making that decision, I was incredibly terrified and I was really worried that I would make the wrong decision, but now I'm more excited than scared. Alright, look at these bad boys. This is going to be the 2 layers for the birthday cake, and the batter tastes pretty good. For it being gluten-free, I was really worried, but they taste alright. Now to the boring bit, which is the cleanup. I'm not even gonna lie, I completely forgot to show you the finished cakes or even take a single photo of them, but I have to say they turned out really well. The pistachio one especially was delish. I think because the majority of the flour contents were ground pistachios and ground almonds and only a tiny bit of flour, it turned out really nice. I'll leave both the links in the description. Only change I made to the recipe is I used self-raising flour instead of plain flour, and I just didn't put the baking powder in because that is already included in the flour. I'm casting on a new project. I have been obsessed with this top on Pinterest for the longest time. It's just like a very basic raglan top, but I like how the sleeves are kind of like a cap sleeve. Today is a bit of a strange day, a bit of a write-off, and there are many other things I should be doing, but I just want to do this instead right now. I think we went to bed around midnight, which isn't that late. Then I think I woke up around 10, which is a very late lay-in for me. But I was so incredibly tired, and I felt myself feeling really tired this whole past 2 weeks for some reason. I'm not doing anything that is super strenuous or anything, but yeah, my body has just been craving sleep. I've even had like a couple naps over the last 2 weeks, which I never do. So yeah, I was still really tired, kind of had a slow start to the morning, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's Sunday, you know, it's the proper Sunday vibes going on. Then my plan was to go to the gym. I was actually meant to do some filming and some editing today, but that never happened because then I fell asleep around 3, I think, and I woke up at 6, and then I just had dinner, and now I'm sat on the sofa. I'm watching Zoe Suggs' new vlog, and yeah, I'm crocheting. Yesterday was so nice having everyone over. I wish now that I filmed more of the preparations and stuff, because I decorated the whole downstairs. I put bunting up, some balloons, set the table, and I was in my element. I just love doing all of that. And then it was just so nice to have all my friends over, and it was very relaxed. Like, I think previously hosting would kind of stress me out a little bit, but I was enjoying myself just as much as everyone else. We all ordered an Indian takeaway, so I didn't have to worry about food and stuff other than snacks, and obviously I made the cakes, so that was really nice. We all just sat around, and my friend Ella made these really nice party hats for all of us with our names on, so when we were eating dinner it just felt like a mini Christmas. It was so nice. Yeah, I just feel incredibly lucky and grateful today for the people that I have around me, and also for our house. Like, I'm not even joking when I say that this was one of the reasons why I wanted to buy a house with a garden, and why I bought certain bits of furniture. Like, I wanted to buy a big sofa so all of my friends can sit on it. I bought an extendable table so that I can pull it out, and I think we fit around 11 people around there yesterday, which it was a squeeze, but it was cozy, you know? So I'm gonna spend the rest of the evening chilling. I'm not gonna hit the gym today. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm snacking my favorite snack, the chocolate covered pretzels. Gonna continue watching some YouTube, which I haven't done all week because it's been so beautiful out. I haven't even been inside that much, so I'm kind of enjoying a cozy night in. So yeah, I'm gonna do a bit more crocheting. I'll have to finish editing this video. Cool. Happy Sunday. We are back in this room because it turns out someone else has bought another one of my things, which is crazy. I've not sold any ready-made items in like months, and now I've had 2 sales within the same week, which is crazy. This one I might struggle to part with. It is a really nice piece, and to be fair, I'm surprised it's taken this long for it to sell. It is this gorgeous crochet top. Oh, I'm literally obsessed with it. I am very happy for whoever bought this. I think it's going to America, which that still blows my mind that I'm sending items out to like all over the world. I also need to put this box away, but it just reminded me I need to share this with you. I used this fabric to make sofa covers back in our old place when we had sort of like a DIY sofa made out of 2 mattresses, and I really struggled to find covers for it, so I sewed this, and I obviously haven't been able to use it since because we have a proper sofa now. But when I set the table for the party on Saturday, I was rummaging through here looking for fabric that I could use as a tablecloth, and the old sofa cover fit perfectly around the table. I mean, the corners of the cover fit the corners of the table exactly, and then I was able to scrunch the fabric under the table so it fit perfectly. I just couldn't believe it. It was so satisfying. It is time to figure out the duplicate stitching for this jumper, and it's been a while since I've done this, so I hope I can remember. This is gonna be the Land Rover logo. I just now need to figure out the gauge, or like how big the surface is that I want to duplicate stitch. I kind of mapped out like roughly I want it this size. I just now need to make it equal sides, so I'll count from the sides in and then figure out somewhat a square where it can go. I think that's my method anyway. I have been putting this off for quite a while because duplicate stitching takes surprisingly long. I don't love it as much, I really don't, but it's gotta be done. So this is what it's given me based on the stitches that I measured on the jumper, and it's obviously not looking great. So I'm gonna manually fix it a little bit and make it as even as I can. So this might take a little while. It's the next day and it looks so good. I finished it pretty much. Well, I'm gonna make some changes, but it came together so much quicker than I thought. This is a little close-up of how it's looking. I think it turned out quite cute. I mean, it's a little bit squished. It always was gonna be squished because I'm going smaller. I suppose I could have gone bigger, but I feel like this size makes sense in proportion. Now, what I want to do is I am going to add another like ring around it, which is kind of going to look a little bit similar to the original logo. I just think this looks a bit bland, just like that. I finished work for the day, and on my way home I picked up some more yarn because I ran out of yarn for the skirt as well as the top that I started the other night. Couldn't help but also buy this bag. I'm obsessed with buying striped bags. This is my third one now, I think, from Systrina Grin. They just have such good bags, and I really like this front pocket. And I have to say, all of my striped bags are slightly different in the shape and the size, so I feel like this is going to be my new work bag, because this used to be my work bag, but I think I'm going to retire this one just for a little while, just because I very much associate work with that. So yeah, cute little bag. But anyways, I essentially just bought a bunch of whites and creams. The cream is for the skirt and the white is for the top. I told myself that I was going to finish this and then I could continue my crochet project, so I'm going to finish this now, and then once that's done I'm going to block it again. I'm going to try and shrink it teeny tiny bit. I'm not sure how successful I'm going to be at that. Just think it's ever so slightly too big. If that doesn't work, it's fine, at least I tried it, and then I'll go back to my crochet projects. Okay, I'm actually finished now. I think it looks way better with the second circle around it. It just seems more like the original logo, and it just has a bit more depth going on. And I realised I completely forgot to show you how the final graph kind of turned out. So what I would do is I had everything in black, so it would be like this, and as I duplicate stitch I would mark it off as green stitch by stitch, and then that really helped me just keep track of what I was doing. Excuse the absolute state of the living room. You can very clearly tell that I'm working on multiple projects. It's just so much stuff everywhere. I have just decided that I'm gonna head out this evening. I haven't yet hit my daily 10,000 step count, and I know that's kind of a made up number. I find it actually really helpful to try and stick to it because it forces me to go out and leave the house. So far today I've done over 6,000, so I need to get another 4,000 in, and if I wasn't trying to stick to that I would have just spent the whole evening at home, and the evening walks especially I find always help me. I kind of just like walk around the block without a destination, but today I feel like I'm a bit bored of that, so I need a destination to go to. I've got my journal in my new bag. I need to do my weekly roundup pages, which I usually do on a Sunday. Today's Tuesday, so I'm kind of needing to catch up on those. And I've also got one of my crochet projects in here, so I'm gonna go there. I think it'll be nice, get my steps in, do my journaling pages, do some crochet, get fresh air, have a tea. Sounds gorge. I'm also wearing some new shoes. I got these, they're called Super Birkies. They're Birkenstocks, but I think they're used for like medical like clinics, doctors and stuff. I got these as a replacement for my platform mules because I keep falling over and I shouldn't wear platform shoes anymore. So I'm gonna test run these and see how comfy they are. Now the place I wanted to go to originally was really full, so I went to the Lion's Den instead, which is outdoors, and I was a bit worried that would be cold, but I just put a blanket on, had a hot drink, it was really wholesome. Sometimes the sun still came through and I realised it wasn't even that late in the evening, and it was really nice to get some fresh air actually. I had to eventually come home because I've run out of yarn. I forget how quickly these crochet projects eat up yarn. I'm low-key kind of regretting holding my yarn double. I feel like this could have been even better if it was smaller crochets. Also it's giving Where's Wally? Just realised putting that on. I'm too deep in now. I'm gonna have to finish it. Thought about maybe adding a row of filet crochet or granny squares, but I don't know. I don't know whether I should just stick with good old-fashioned raglan. I think I'm also always getting to the point of, yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to do something different, but maybe I'll finish this as is and then try something different. I also realised I'm running out of this very quickly, and this is the red that they've discontinued. So who knows what I'll end up doing. Maybe I have to do the bottom half in a different colour. We'll see. I think this video ended up being really, really long, so if you're still here, well done you. Before I finish this video though, I just wanted to announce that I have very spontaneously decided to launch some new products this Friday. One of them is going to be this phone case, which is my Granny Square Designs design on a phone case. I tried so many different cases and I went with this one in the end, which is essentially a case that I would wear anyways, just completely transparent, but instead it has these granny squares on the back. So this will be available to buy this Friday, and I'm also going to release this t-shirt, which I still need to get some promo shots off on Thursday, I think. But yeah, they look like this. They're gonna also be available on Friday. As always, I'll have my website link in the description so you can sign up to any wait lists, or if they have already launched, they'll be available to buy there. I'm going to continue working on my projects as usual. I'm sure I'll show you some of the progress in an upcoming video. Thank you as always so much for watching, especially if you've made it to this point, and hopefully I will see you next time. Goodbye.